Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to have more cool, fun comic book slash film slash story character discussions. And this particular topic will be about none other than the Brides of Dracula. Yes, folks, I am profiling the brides of Dracula's through the errors of their characterization on film, in the live action, of course, in animation, and in the comic books. Yes, there's even Bride of Dracula's comic books out there pertaining to stories about them because their lives are complicated and not in ways they have the eternal life that they've always wanted in terms of what they want to live for in terms of being beautiful forever and living forever as beautiful brides. And of course, that comes with marriage. They have the marriage too. They're married to a dude that obviously romance them in a way that would compel them to want to get married. And I noticed that Dracula's situation is polygamy. If he has three wives, right? If they're all in agreement. So, but they practice that out there anyway. So Dracula didn't bring anything new into it by getting married to three women or more because they've been doing that for thousands of years, and probably right now it's still going on in terms of a guy having more than three brides. But that is another story. But that is another story. In other words, now with the brides of Dracula, they've been characterized as powerful vampire sorceress monstrosities on film. They had different types of characterizations for those brides in terms of on TV, the big screen, comics. I noticed that on the live action tip of the Brides of Dracula, I've seen them being characterized as lust incarnate, which made them into the ultimate temptations for man. I've seen them being characterized as, of course, zombie like vampire killers that only desire blood and their lust is insatiable for bloodlust. I've seen the Dracula brides also characterized as incredible, remarkable warriors, cunning warriors and fighters, along with being like witches and sorcerers of vampirism. And so there are differences between the different characterizations of the brides of Dracula, as seen in many different film formats as well as book and comic book formats. I must say that in the recent live action movie, I like that particular characterization more so than others, even though I found it to be less creepier than the much earlier editions of The Brides of Dracula in terms of seeing three beautiful vampire women creep around in a misty, like dark environment, and they're wearing clean clothes, clean slips, and they've returned from the dead, of course. So I like that particular creepy look is okay on certain types of occasions or in certain types of stories, but the warrior brides of Dracula really took me to the edge and over the top. I was like, wow, cool. His brides are very powerful warriors too. So where did they get their training? So in other words, they could adapt the Brides of Dracula for film in terms of showing their training to become powerful vampire, witch, sorceress, and everything else or anything that you might want to call them in addition. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And stay tuned for future content. Indeed.